game. Wallabear proved himself through the North American regions to be the most survivalist druid amongst all the feral druids that have been competing. He lives the longest. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Yep, so we are going to follow Pry out of here. He's going to be looking for that opener, probably going to try to go for that sap onto the shaman. That seems to be the most common way for these rogue mage druid teams to want to open up. He's going to try to get a sap onto Absterge. Of course, Raikou and Raikou and Talby are both able to keep themselves pretty hidden as well. I should point out that Talby is healing stat. He does actually kind of have two different names that he goes by, but here we go. The sap does go out onto Absterge. Vassal immediately going to gateway out of there after he gets caught into that kidney shot. Trinkets it immediately and gateways out. Absterge still caught into a sheep, into a cyclone as well, and they are now trying to continue to keep up this damage onto Vassal, but he's done a great job getting over here out of line of sight and making sure that they can't actually get over to him very easily.
And Pry actually doing a pretty cool job there in the opener, make sure to use that depth from above so Wallabear wasn't actually able to get a stun on him, so he did a great job there. Vassal just pulling back, summoning up his pet. Really not too much achieved there in the opener. Vassal did use his trinket, but that's really all we saw out of these two teams.
Yeah, triple Shadow Fury out from Vassal. Dark Soul coming out, looking for some pressure, building it up onto Talby, but Talby displaces back to the center field. He's going to be completely fine. Vassal loading up full dots onto the team, doing a good job so far. There's the full kidney shot. Are they going to follow it up with the damage is the question. Pry building up towards that red buff. Full bash on the wall, full deep onto Absterge. Good cross CC out from Skill Cap to you. They secure the clone, they secure the poly. Vassal could be in a bit of trouble as he pops that Dark Regeneration to heal back up. Pry lands the kick onto that unstable affliction, and we can see Wallace still getting cloned up. Good crowd control chains out from Skill Cap to you thus far, but they don't have the damage to follow it up. Where is it?
Yeah, Vassal's just completely fine. He's going to be using that Soulborn port, just running around, preventing some of that damage. Another Shadow Fury coming out onto Pry. Talby doing a good job staying back and making sure he doesn't get CC'd. Vassal having a hard time actually getting Fears out onto him right now. The Stampeding Roar coming out of Wallabear. This is the Deep Freeze though onto Absterge, the full blind onto Wallabear, who does have that Berserk pop. I don't think he stacked. Oh, he did. He ended up stacking it with his Incarnation, so he gets blinded on those cooldowns. Decides not to trinket. Vassal in a little trouble though, caught into the full kidney shot. Absterge does have a Trinket Link available, gets the Spirit Link off before going into that clone, so Vassal's going to be completely fine for now, but still not completely out of the woods. It looks like the DR clone coming out, gating away, doing the best he can to get away and survive, porting back to Absterge. Going to be completely fine for the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wallabear was not in that Spirit Link, so they didn't get the health from him, so Vassal was in kind of a scary situation there for just a second, but he did manage to kite very effectively and get away. One thing that Skill Capped has been doing up until very recently is they've actually been killing Vassal's pet as much as possible. That's why we weren't seeing quite as much damage going on to FollowESports, because they were actually putting their damage into that pet. Now, of course, the pet is still active, and they're just going straight after Vassal, getting him not into that kidney shot yet again. Another kidney shot coming off of that. Absterge into a Cyclone. Ooh. Vassal in a lot of trouble, but the second Spirit Link is going to come out from Absterge. He did have that trinket available to get that Trinket Link off, just barely saving Vassal in the nick of time.
Yeah, well timed from Absterge. Good trade, but now in this position with no trinket, Skill Cap to you are going to be looking to set up a kill potentially. Wallabear holding onto his trinket smartly. He doesn't want to open himself up as a target, going for that defensive clone over onto Pry. Looks like they're still trying to build up some pressure here right now onto Raikou as he is fully dotted, fully bled up. Deep Freeze is now available if Raikou chooses to move in here shortly. Vassal seems to be the primary target. Dark Regeneration coming up here shortly though. FollowESports should be all right. Talby starting to run out of mana. Here comes the setup. Deep Freeze poly lands on Absterge. Full clone onto Walla. Walla trinkets out. Red Spree out from Pry. A lot of damage onto Vassal. Dark Regeneration comes out immediately to try and heal through it. The polys are chaining through onto Absterge. He breaks it with the Comet Storm. Absterge needs to get some heals. He's trying to stop the Cyclones. He misses a wind shear, grounds the follow-up clone, and Vassal is going to survive another setup.
Yeah, Absterge able to got those Spirit Walker's Grace heals out onto him, so he's going to be completely fine. Raikou, though, getting a little bit low. Talby actually having a huge trouble with his mana right now. I believe he's down to around 28% mana, so as this game goes on, unless he can get a drink, his team's just going to get rotted lower and lower. I mean, that's what FollowESports wants. They want this game to go on long. Raikou actually caught into a full main right now, loaded up with Haunt, gets dispelled by Talby. Talby, I think, is going to be displacing back, trying to actually go for a drink. He realizes mana is big trouble, so this RMD of Skill Cap EU is going to pull back, just try to prevent as much damage as possible, and Talby's just going to drink to full, and there's not too much Vassal and Wallabear and Absterge can do to stop him.
Yeah, Talby just sitting back here, drinking up 83% mana now on Talby, putting him actually above Absterge, who was in a commanding lead just a second ago in terms of mana. So now Skill Cap EU playing defensively here for just a second. Looks like they may actually be looking for, no, actually, I'm incorrect. I thought that the Vassal's pet was over there and they were going to kill it, but no, both teams are just kind of hanging out behind the pillars. Like, no, you go, just waiting for the other person to actually move out. But Pry has gotten himself into stealth again, gets that sap out on a Vassal. They're actually just looking to reset this and get another opener off.
And Wallabear actually using his Berserk and Incarnation right away. He wants to go very, very offensive, gets caught into that cheap shot. He doesn't have Trinket available, so if he gets CC'd on these cooldowns, it's going to be really hard for them to generate some pressure. Absterge actually going into the full kidney shot, able to get some heals off on himself. That was the Frozen Orb coming out from Raikou, as well as the adrenaline rush from Pry. So Abster's still taking quite a bit of damage. It looks like he is going to be completely fine. Pry actually getting the Ironbark from Talby, also taking a lot of damage, but he does have Ironbark as well as Feint. Not going to be taking too much. Gets topped off by Talby, and it looks like this RMD is going to be fun.
Yeah, now we see the full kidney shot onto Vossel. He has no Dark Regeneration for 8 more seconds. Abster's trinket just comes up, bops the Ascendance. Now we can see FollowESports rotating the pressure and momentum around. Raikou getting cloned up at low HP. Pry getting swapped to down to 40%. Talby desperately trying to pick his team back up. That drink that he got earlier was so important here. He's going to choose to use the bar skin on that bash, and Walla's going to clone him up. Really well played from Walla. Reading the cooldown, cloning him up, switching the pressure over onto Raikou. Raikou does have 2 more ice blocks available, so as long as he presses it, he should be all right.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting to note how little they've been going after Raikou. A lot of times, the North American teams, you'll see them going after the mage constantly, just trying to get through the 2 ice blocks. But in this case, it seems almost like they're focusing primarily on Pry. Of course, as I say that, Wallabear jumps over and starts putting a bunch of damage into Raikou, just trying to keep Talby on his toes. Now a full fear onto Talby, but they're still putting so much damage into Vossel at the same time. Abster's not entirely out of the woods, but he is managing to get those heals off as no major CC was landing on him just yet. Now switching it back around onto Pry once again. Wallabear putting some damage into him. Looks like, I'm guessing that their strategy here is to try to catch Pry without his feint up and try to just blow him up inside of a stun. But Pry is just a little bit too good for that. He's keeping that feint up non-stop, wants to make sure there is no possibility for them to swap over to him and blow him up that quick.
I really like what FollowESports is doing. They're playing that Shaman Pillar game very, very well. Wallabear actually doing an excellent job making Raikou's life a nightmare, using that Typhoon as well as his kick and Cyclones to sort of shut down his crowd control, make sure he's not able to get too many icicles. But Wallabear actually caught into the full kidney shot right now. Still has no trinket available. He just have 2 charges of Survival Instinct, so if he gets out of the stun, he's going to be able to pop it. Stops the follow-up CC. Abster's still in that polymorph, though, at the moment. Gets DR polymorph by Raikou, but Raikou and Talby both getting dangerously low. Barstein coming out from Talby, using that NS, able to top himself off. Wallabear still very low. Abster's actually dropping the Spirit Link. Wallabear is able to get into it. Beautiful Spirit Link by Abster's there. I believe he actually also had to use his trinket.
Yeah, he did. So Skill Cap DU are in another position where the next setup could be the kill. There's no trinkets available for FollowESports. We can see that Skill Cap DU know that they have this game in the bag. They're just going to rotate back, look for a complete reset, maybe even allow Talby to drink, play for a little bit more of a later stage of the game. We see the pet getting killed off, but Vossel's already preparing for that, resummoning it behind the pillar. We see Pry running in, not even going to go for a re-stealth. He does not gain the advantages of that like a subtlety rogue. Raikou trying to pop Wallabear out of stealth. Walla's actually immediately opening onto Talby. He has no bar skin available. Blade's so greedy, and he's going to possibly go down. He trinkets air, barely surviving at 12% HP. If dampening was just a little bit higher, he's still going down to the dots, struggling to heal through the pressure. A blind onto Walla, but that blind is no longer available for the Incarnation. FollowESports need to survive this kidney shot. There's no damage coming up from Pry and Raikou right now. Great counterspell onto the Frost Tree of Raikou. Now the image kidney shot following it up onto Abster as he pops that Aura Mastery, trying to pick himself back up. FollowESports could have this game in the bag. There's the Incarnation out from Walla, but he didn't really get anything done with it. Abster needs to stabilize himself. He's got his trinket coming up in about 50 seconds. Spirit Link is available for him as well. Abster needs to make sure that he pre-links the next incoming CC.
Talby spent 50% of his mana bar in that last exchange. 50%.
Yeah, very intensive healing. This is dampening at 20%, so I feel like the more this RMD pulls back, they're kind of playing into the advantages of FollowESports, letting them reset. Abster Trinket's going to be up in 30 seconds. Vossel has his Dark Regeneration. Trinket coming up for him in 20 seconds. They're going to have a lot of defensive cooldowns that they can work and rotate through, and it's going to be so hard for Talby to heal through and keep his team offensive if they don't manage to make something happen right away. And I think this is looking good for FollowESports.
Yeah, it really is. They're playing into the dampening game very well. Abster's Trinket is coming up. FollowESports have a lot of cooldowns left. All of their trinkets are coming up. This is looking great for FollowESports. If they can stay alive just a little bit longer, they've caught Talby off a little bit, but now that dampening is a bit higher, Talby could end up going down in a potential setup like that. Abster's getting sapped. Nice Shadow Fury out from Vossel, reading the position, but they are going to follow it up with a kidney shot. Vossel trinkets out right away. He needs to get some dots rolling. They need the damage, but he does get locked out by Pry as he's dipping down to half HP. Abster's trying to ground some incoming CC, goes for the Ascendance, gift for the Naro. He needs to pick Vossel back up. Vossel gates away, pops the Dark Regeneration. Pry goes for the killing spree. Will they be able to chomp right through it? He's down at 39% HP. Gouge over onto Walla to try and crowd control him. Clone onto Absterge. Vossel completely alone at the moment, down at 30% HP. Absterge has the trinket link. He's going to pre-link the next incoming CC, stabilize his team. FollowESports needs to get some damage, and they need to get it now.
Yeah, they need to turn this around in a hurry, and it looks like they're trying to do that onto Raikou right now. Wallabear is chasing after him constantly, but Vossel caught into another full kidney shot. Absterge into that deep freeze, but no follow-up CC. No, excuse me. The blind comes out. He's going to trinket that right away, but now he has nothing to stop this polymorph. Vossel is running for his his life right now. He's got nothing left available. He ports back over, just trying to kite Pry as long as he possibly can, as Absturge is just sitting through polymorph after polymorph into a cyclone, but he's out of that into a bash right away. How is Vossel still alive? The kidney shot comes out. He's at 16% health.
Big heal though from Absturge coming in. The smoke bomb tried to deny those incoming heals from the Absturge by Pry. Vossel actually getting offensively cloned there by Talby. Excellent job by him. Absturge is in a nightmare position, has no spirit link up for 50 seconds. He has no cooldowns to heal through this. The Garrote coming out from Pry onto Vossel, catches a huge heal from Absturge, but it's not enough. Dampening at 32%. This is so hard for Absturge, who's now caught into that full polymorph. Gateway still not available for Vossel. He only has his port, and I think he's already used it. Down at 40% HP. Absturge actually gets out of that CC. Does able to get some heals off onto him, but he doesn't have any cooldowns to top him off.
Yeah, Vossel gets locked out. Dampening is so high. Absturge gets deep. They have to stop the CC onto Absturge if they want to win it. Counterspell onto the poly. Ring of Frost follows up. It's only half duration, but that's all they're going to need, I think. The killing spree comes out from Pry, and it's going to finish off Vossel. I hope he's down at 1% and will fall. And Skill Cap EU are going to take game number 1 against FollowESports. Talby having a lot of close calls. Nonetheless, through that series, great play out from Vossel, hanging in there, even to the bitter end. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. We can see Wallen not giving up for the time being here, but he's not going to take down Talby with this last incarnation attempt. Skill